Is the TCG exclusive RB archetype good? Let's find out.
First ball.
That destruction.
Let's call Garrett.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This video is a little late after Duelist Advance, but I actually was really excited to test out this new TCG exclusive RB, which is like build, create your bots, and having to pay for parts and those things. I thought it was a cool idea. Originally, I was like, oh, I can put this into Union monsters. Does not work. I tried to make it work, couldn't, but it was a cool idea. However, there is some existing machine support with it that is pretty cool, and I'm excited to take this deck to locals and see what it can do. I think down the line, when it gets even more support, it'll be even better, but I think at its max potential, this is a pure RB build going second build, and I think that's the best way to do it, because it does have interruptions, but those interruptions aren't super strong. And like there's like 3 or 4 of them, which are decent, but the best way I see it is to break that board and then go for a KO for game. So let's hop into it. So starting out, we're gonna wanna maximize those names that we have, which is gonna be 3 Driller, great card. And if you'll notice, there's gonna be a theme. All these monsters are under 1,000 attack, and these are all inherent summons, just because if you control no monsters or only control RB, so that's what makes RB really good, is there's not a lot of normal summoning unless you absolutely have to. Then we have the Cutter, another great piece just to do that spell, trap, negate, which is super solid in this current format. And then RB Valcon Rocket, super insane, just pops 2 cards on the field, which is really strong in this current format because removing bodies is really important. The thing is to remove face downs, remove whatever. Like I said, we're maximizing all names, and so then we have 3 Funk Dock, 3 the field spell, a crazy field spell just because you're going to search for an RB card on summon, and then also it allows for you to gain life points, to trade out another RB monster once destroyed by card effect, by your own card effect, or others. And then I call this card the Red Eyes Fusion, just because special summon from extra deck or deck at any point from this, and it's not once per turn, which is nuts. And it does lock you to machine monsters with 1,500 or less attack from the extra deck. So yes, there is that lock, but with the build that we're playing, the way we're doing it, it doesn't really matter. But it's just a crazy card, because you can literally do this in the link 2, grab another one, do this in the link 3, grab another one, do it into like Valcon Rocket. It's pretty cool. And then also too, on res, being able to banish it from grave to avoid destruction just adds a whole nother layer of protection. Then let's talk about some machine support, existing support. And so funny enough, this card, I was gonna use this for K9, I was gonna use this for ABC and Union, but I realized it's actually really strong in this deck. So Disablaster, the Negation Fortress, it's a machine that's also a special summon from hand if there's an open column, which is really, really good. Also a negation, obviously, Negation Fortress. But it also too is level 5 and attack is 500, so keep that in mind. And then of course, 1 Therion King Regulus. Anytime you play any kind of machine deck, you gotta throw a Therion King in there just because it is so strong and just contributes to any machine deck so much. But this is where the fun part comes in. Machine Duplication. This card isn't used that often because it's very niche and it can be hard to use, and really it's usually not worth it. However, if you notice, Disablaster, for example, is a level 5 and a machine, and you can spam out 3 of them easily with this, or you can spam out 3 of the Driller and you can get 3 of those on field and start your league plays. But you'll notice something as we get into the extra deck, why this is so good, but it's just sick that you're able to use such an old card in such an effective way now. And this build we're at is at 43 cards, so hard drawing it is pretty likely. Then also too, another card, Clockwork Knight. Definitely a floodgate, turning everything to machines, increasing your attack, but actually enables us to use the new Link Clockwork Knight in tandem with this and this deck, because all these monsters are less than 1,000 attack and a machine monster, which Clockwork Knight can go into any of them. And it can send this, search out Therion King, a RB part. There's lots of cool things you can do. Then of course, some more support, terraforming, set rotation, and then Therion Disc Coliseum, obviously for set rotation, but also to search that Therion King. But honestly, like, this is really good to search, but the way the deck works, and with like Clockwork Knight, you don't necessarily have to search Therion King that way. And then one more kind of support for it, Pot of Prosperity, just another good search, and because our extra deck is actually a bunch of 3-ups, and so we have plenty of room to, you know, get rid of there. And speaking of plenty of room in the extra deck, now let's get into our breakers. We have 3 Gordion Slicer. This card is bonkers. I love this card, and it's not talked about enough or used enough, but literally being able to send face-up cards from field back to hand or extra deck, and it can't be negated. And so the thing is, like, it's not like Droplet where you have to have that exact amount. The cost is targeting. So if you target 4 and somehow they remove it down to 3 or something like that, you only have to send 3 cards from hand or 6 from extra deck, which I said, you have 3 of everything in there, and so it's not that harsh to be able to do it. So just a crazy removal card going first or second, and also too, it's not once per turn. So if you did it main phase 1, battle, main phase 2. And then speaking of Droplet, we got 3 Droplet, just standard Droplet, 3 Book of Eclipse. Like I said, all these breakers, we just want to interrupt, break through their board, and end the game quickly. And of course, some classics. We got 1 Dark Hole, 1 Lightning Storm, and a second Lightning Storm, so 2 Lightning Storms. And I'm only playing Dark Hole because I couldn't find my Raigeki, so works the same way. And then we have 1 Harpy's Feather Duster and 1 Called by the Grave. So all these breakers, just tons of breakers in here. I don't even know how many are in here. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10, 13 breakers in here on top of everything else. So you're guaranteed to draw into at least 1 breaker going second. And so, the thing is too, even if your opponent forces you to go first, if you win, then you still have plenty to do to set up a decent board, set up follow-up. So let's go into the extra deck. We have 3 Root Blues, like I said, maxing out on those names. This card is kind of that core like OTK potential because you just get this out, attach Rocket, Driller, and Saw, and boost it up to a little over 3k, can attack twice, and then all those monsters can attack, and you also gonna have removal. So tons of great stuff there. Then the Link 2, 3 of them, like I said, maxing out those names. Valkan Booster, Link 2, able to special out, and like I said, they all search, which is crazy. So they all just get into the next pieces and kind of build up that board. And then of course, like I mentioned, 2 Clockwork Knights. This card works so well with this deck because all the monsters can go into it. If you have that Clockwork Knight in the field, send it, add a different Clockwork Knight, banish from grave, add Therion King, add a different one, and then you can go into your Link 2, do whatever. So really, really strong that way. Now, with the Disablaster, the reason why you're spamming Disablaster onto the field, the reason why you're spamming Disablaster onto the field, machine duplication, is for this baby right here. 2 Cyber Dragon Novas, 3 Infinity. Because there's that lock of having to only do 1500 or less attack monsters on the Link 2, well, you open Disablaster Machine Duplication, okay? Machine Duplication, Disablaster, boom, 5th summon, Infinity. Nib protection, you're good there. And also too, just having that Omni Negate on board on top of it, so that's really great when you are forced to go first. And then ending off with 1 Typhon and 1 Zeus. Just kind of the classic like Typhon, and then of course we have our XCs, so throwing Zeus in there to break those boards as well. So like this deck is going second, is just blow up the board and win the game. Are you two done? Hey, are you two done? I think this deck has a lot of potential, and like I said, I'm excited to take it to locals to see what it can do, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Does this deck, is it able to thrive on its own, or does it need some supplemental engines to make it even better? And what would you like to see added in the future? Comment, like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I'll see you on the next one.